Hello, this is Lisa Russick and Misty Lore with the podcast We Are All Psychic. And today we have a pretty rad guest with some pretty rad hair, so it's a video on Spotify if you want to see it. And her name's Sunshine. Sunshine, would you like to say hello?
Hi, everyone.
They say hi.
Hi, Sunshine.
Hi, Sunshine. Such a fun thing to say, Sunshine.
I know. Hi, Sunshine.
This makes you smile.
I do love it. It amuses me every time. So.
Yeah.
Misty, do you want to ask Sunshine a question?
Yes, Sunshine. Do you think we're all psychic?
And I should have asked, do you allow swearing?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, well, fuck yes, I do.
Yeah, we approve. We approve of this endorsement.
Yes, absolutely. 100%. We are all psychic. Literally just had this conversation this afternoon with someone.
So you're prepared.
If you aren't aware of it, you're probably blocking it, or you're using it and just don't recognize it.
That's what I always think right there.
Yep.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
That's what I pointed it out to people, and they'll be kind of on the fence. Well, maybe, but then I'm out of their face. And
Yeah.
I'm not a
I got a feeling and told my kids they needed to take their raincoat. And it rained today. I'm like, oh, yeah, but you're not psychic. Got it.
Yeah,
Right.
That's just mother's intuition. Same thing.
I know. Same exact thing.
It is.
Or did you always think that? Like all your life? Were you pretty much raised that way? Or did you?
I wasn't like raised that way. So I myself am a psychic medium, and I've had, like, as an adult, I've looked back and realized, like, even as a child, how, like, my psychic ability, I was often told I was a know-it-all. That was a very common thing as a child, and now in retrospect, I'm like, oh, that's because you were the asshole that literally told everyone that what you shouldn't have told them, right? Like
you knew.
Yeah, I like literally was a know-it-all, but as a kid, you just come across as an asshole. And when I was around 13 years old, I actually found out that my grandmother, who's now on the other side, herself was a medium. So I was kind of introduced to like this concept of gifts at that point.
Yeah.
And it wasn't really until I was probably in my later teens, after my grandmother had passed away, and my family members, for some odd reason, I don't know, I've tried to figure this one out. Like, when did I know?
Yeah.
When did I know? And there's like, if I look at my like waking memory, I don't have a distinctive waking memory, but I'm going to tell you this. This is like crazy to me. This last year did these personal healing sessions that I refer to as channeling sessions. And I had a facilitator, and we went to block by block through my ages all the way up until I was 30. And we started with a list of questions, and I'd prep, and I would basically just talk to my guides and see what I found with those questions around my like childhood. And then the second half of the session, I would actually go into a trance and channel my younger self.
Yeah.
So like my younger self would step forward to talk. And there was a time around the age of 3 where I literally would refer to the people without bodies. So I could see ghosts as a little kid.
Yeah.
And then there was around 11 years old, I think it was, that literally in the channeling session, I've got this like transcription. My younger self was like, whoa, what's going on? What are you doing? How is this happening? Right? Like they could recognize, they were like pulled forward. And so the facilitator was the one saying like, these are gifts. Sunshine, like Sunshine is connecting to you. Like, and so it's only through those sessions that I've realized I was around the age of 11 when I first learned about like psychic abilities and gifts, and started to actually wonder what mine were.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until those sessions that I actually had that realization.
So it kind of sounds like you did know we were all psychic anyway. That fact you knew, but you just weren't convinced yet. Maybe you thought it. Because if you think the first question is what are mine? I think that's amazing. That should be everybody's first question, I think. Something like that. What do I do that is special, in this way? Okay, what can I already do? Like you said, so many people don't know that.
No, they don't. So
Let's
many
point
people.
that out. I think that's a good topic right there. Let's point out some ways that people are doing it that they don't know. Like, but my classic on I've said a few times on the podcast is a telepath who goes in a room or a restaurant or something, and within 10 or 20 seconds of scanning, they know what's going on with everybody in the whole restaurant. And they say it's observation. But you can't observe that many people of 10, 15, 20 seconds and get details. Well, her back probably hurts. Why? Well, she's holding it. No, but she's also in this. And then what about the guy with her? Oh, he's an asshole. Why? Because, well, he just is. Why? And it's like, well, you can and you'll finally get stumped. I don't know why.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
my favorite one is, you're looking and you're thinking about somebody, and all of a sudden they call you on the phone.
Yeah,
my favorite one.
Yeah,
Dean. Why did that happen? Because you knew that they were going to call you.
Or this one is finishing each other's sentences.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Do you really think that you're just like miraculously? No, like you're literally have connected to them, their energy, their mind, and you're probably telepathically hearing what they're saying.
Yes.
But you're just going to say it's a funny coincidence. No, there's no.
I finish people's sentences all the time. I say I'm right about 70% of the time. Sometimes I'm making an assumption about what they're going to say because I'm so excited about something I'm being told, or like a movie or something. I was like, it's just going to happen like this. It's going to happen like that. But usually with conversation, and it's been all the women in my mom's side of the family can talk at the same time and hear each other about different topics. Amazing. And Misty and I finish each other's sentences all.
Yeah. I think if you're around somebody's energy for so long, you start to do that automatically.
Yeah. It's
kind of intertwine, and
I get it why people have a heart. They're like, no, we're just around. I get that it's easy to dismiss it as in like you're just around them, but like, let's be real. If you actually were pissed off with someone or didn't like them, or they were like a roommate and you lived with them every single day, you probably wouldn't, because you'd have boundaries and protection. You'd be protecting your energy about them.
Yes.
So you're not going to pick up and connect.
You're not in touch. You're in conflict. So that makes sense too. Yeah. Unless you're in conflict with someone you've been married to for 30 years and it's always been that way, then you do know what they're going to say next. That's the only opposite I could think of.
I'll tell you, there is one thing that I have learned, because I mentor a lot of folks that are working on their gifts. And there is one thing that you have to be conscious of, is that some people will gain their psychic abilities strengthened through trauma.
Yes. And
in order to try to keep themselves safe.
Yes.
And so
yes.
And so yes, that conflict with that husband or whatever, depending upon the level, they're starting to learn and pick up all of that like energetic cues of when they're going to go off the handle or misstep or anything of that nature.
It's like kids who were raised around parents that they never knew if they're going to fly off the handle or not, or, they had a mood swings or whatever might make them mood swings. It's totally, they had to pick up young. One of my oldest stepson, when he first moved in at 18, he was staying with us a lot, with my ex-husband and my other son. But he would say like every other week or some weekend or something, and then a week in the summer. So I really knew him, but I got to really get to know him when he was 18 and moved in, and he had a lot of conditioning. I couldn't hear him anywhere in the house because he had lived in a place where he felt like he had the tiptoe, and he had good reason. And it was like, I called him a ninja. And then finally, within a couple of years, he's stomping through the house like everybody else, But he could do that quiet thing, no problem. He could slip right back into it. And he's really sensitive. I mean, right, Misty, Terry is just like
very.
And so's my other son, but he kind of doesn't want anyone to know.
Boys are weird on that one. I will tell you, they are a little bit odd with.
How old are you?
Me?
Yeah.
43. I'll be 44 this year.
Oh, you're in our age group. All right. You're Generation X. So what do you think about the younger
pink hair
people?
makes me look a little young. though.
Yeah, it does help.
Yeah, I love
it does help.
Love it.
What do you think about the teenagers and the 20-year-olds now? I think that's really cool. A lot of them are into this stuff. Like, just they've been raised with Harry Potter or something, with their parents knowing it, and it's just like, they not only that, but there's so much on TV and in movies and in cinema of like superheroes, superpowers. It's normalized in theater and movies and the culture that they could possibly be a thing. Some people believe they're real. Like Superman's real.
Yeah.
I definitely think that, kids now, I mean, they are different. Like children, I don't have any children, but the children that our age would be raising are much different than like us, right? Like, much different. I'm actually dating a gentleman, and I haven't met his kids yet, but I get to hear a lot of stories, 16 and 13. And so like, even like listening to how he talks about how they talk, I'm like mind kind of blown. Anytime I'm around younger kids, how much more understanding, compassionate, sensitive, loving, kind.
The guys will say "I love you" to each other when they're saying goodbye and hug each other and stuff, and the girls usually will like be real nice, kind, and not catty. From what I've seen, it's really cool.
Yep. In the challenge, and this is where I said about the boys, even when it comes to being sensitive and a gift, there is still something around that predominantly masculine energy, right? Like everybody has masculine and feminine energy, but when you're, if you're a boy, you're typically very often going to have predominant masculine. There is something with that ego that struggles to allow that feminine energy to come in, which is the gifts and the sensitivity and being seen for that.
That ego gets you every time. Yeah.
It is the thing that makes us human, and it is the thing that reminds us that we are human over and over
and keeps us human.
Like, damn it, I can't fly.
I know. Even though I jumped out that roof.
I found out next life.
Found that the hard way.
Yeah. So I think kids nowadays are, and there's a lot of, I don't even know if it's like mythology or like, there's a lot of conversation around, as we've moved into the age of Aquarius, just the children, they are actually more spiritually advanced. I have a lot of conversations with people around like even some of the things like the autism levels, or like, the folks that are on the spectrum, and how no, they're just more sensitive. They're actually more in tune with how like human nature really should be.
Yes.
Like,
thank you.
And so with that, like I literally have one of my clients, he's been working with me for the last, we've been working together like the last 8 months. And as an adult, he was diagnosed on the autism spectrum, and the work we have done, because not only has he come to accept like that, but he's actually come to accept that they're not disabilities. They're actually his gifts.
Yes.
Right?
Advantages.
I love that.
Look at it that way, they can be advantages.
Yes. And so he has his own whole thing that he is working on, like to try to like change the world in that regards. And like, I love it, because to me, these are gifts, but if you are feeling the symptoms of them, they can be burdensome.
Yeah.
Right? I am sensitive to sound, right? Sound, noise, things of that nature bother me. If I was a child right now being, and in school, I would potentially be diagnosed as having like being on the spectrum, being extra sensitive to energies and things. It's not severe for me, but that is something. So it's crazy to me to think that I'm 43 and just now realizing how much, what's the word? I don't even want to say like how many poor habits I had established or stories I had created because I didn't understand my gifts.
Narratives. Yeah. You tell yourself.
Yeah. I didn't understand.
I don't know if you ever took medication or anything. I still take medication because, for me, I had the bad hallucinations at the same time as the psychic imagery. So when I got put on a typical, not atypical, but a typical antipsychotic for the first time, all of that went away and the psychic stayed. And I was like, oh, I know the difference. Oh, and then I had to decide if I believed it or not, right? I had to believe, but I still take the, well, actually, I don't take an antipsychotic right now. I take a very strange medication called Vraylar, which doesn't really fit anywhere, but they call it either a bipolar medication or an atypical. But they don't really know what it does. They don't know exactly how it works, but it's kind of interesting. It like keeps the dopamine levels like compressed.
Nice.
Like in a range. It keeps them from getting low and too high. And so that's like perfect. Whatever, it helps me. But I also have ADD and I can't you probably know a lot of ADD people and it's like you and Miss, I don't know, other people I know are, and I don't feel like I experience everything like everybody else does as far as
neurodiverse, 100%.
Not as a psychic thing, but as a, like my attention span is like,
but I would argue that is part of it.
It could be. And I don't have a problem with it being part of it, because I get a lot of cool daydreams and stuff, but it's isolating in some ways because I don't know what the real conversation is. Let's say you and Misty and I are at a bar having shots, right? Shots. I don't know. You're having a glass of wine. You're having a, let's see, vodka cranberry. Is that what you would drink? What would you drink? Sunshine.
I'm actually a recovering alcoholic. So
you wouldn't drink then?
I'd be having a delicious tea and lemonade. That looks like a Long Island.
Palmer. What's that? Larry Palmer?
Yeah, Arnold Palmer.
Arnold Palmer.
Yeah. Arnold, yeah.
You'll have an Arnold Palmer. What will you have, Misty?
I'm having a pineapple and Malibu.
I'm having a beer. So we're sitting there and you two are talking and you're having this great conversation about like how you grew up and you were telling her about when you were 11 or something. I'll be listening to the conversation. I'd rather be in the conversation, but instead I'm like, ooh, her hair is pretty. Ooh, Misty's eyes got bright. I'm not thinking those things. I'm just paying attention to those and I can't hear the conversation. Maybe it's like you have the sensitive hearing. It might be like
that. That's 100%. This is, so I'll tell you this is crazy. I noticed this when I was married. I didn't know the sound thing for a long time. It took a long time, but the way that it first showed up to me is my ex-husband liked to watch football, and it was like nails on a chalkboard on TV for me. It was so maddening. And so one night, I don't remember why, he had the volume real, real low when he was watching it. And I looked at him and I was like, I can do this. And he goes, what do you mean? I said, I have no problem with this. I said, there's no energetic charge happening in me right now. And like, he shut down a lot of my witchy psychic stuff. So it wasn't really, but in retrospect, what I've realized is when you watch football, if you're a football fan, you have the crowd, the ref, the field, the announcers. You have like almost 5 different layers of sound.
Sometimes. Yeah.
And it drives me nuts. And so for you sitting at the bar, think about this. You've got all of the sound around you. You've got 2 folks in front of you that are talking and going, right? And so like your head from like your own psychic, and I truly believe that if you are not actively engaged in a one-on-one quiet conversation, our psychic minds are like out there.
Yeah. I mean, I do. I have had tests done where they show that my brain operates differently as far as what fluctuates for an ADD test. So there's something physical about it to the things that happen that we have going on too.
Yep.
And then mental illnesses are physical illnesses or mental health issues. Like they are physical, so there's structural things, there's chemical things, and they're all in our guts. They're finding out a lot about that too. Mm-hmm. And I just like, I don't know why. I mean, actually, I have read an article. I read this I think I might have posted it on my Facebook wall. And if you're interested in Sunshine, I'll find it. It's like it was not too long ago. I'll send it to you. But some scientists did this study with psychic mediums and they said, and schizophrenics. And they said the only difference between the psychic mediums and the schizophrenics really is that the psychic mediums embraced it and the schizophrenics were afraid. The ones
I believe that
were functional.
I believe that. Yeah, I totally believe that. I think that there's a thin line going on there.
There is. And I will tell you that every now and again, I watch that line. And so for 5 years, after I got divorced, I started dating a gentleman who, long story short, when the pandemic hit, ended up starting having bouts of psychosis. So we've since broken up. We broke up a year and a half ago. But I watched the psychotic breaks, and he's been diagnosed schizophrenic.
Yes.
And it was this very interesting thing because when I would like tap into his energy, I was actually told he was like full-fledged divine message, whoosh, coming through, but he didn't know how to process it.
Yeah.
He didn't know how to understand it. And he didn't know how to your point, not be afraid of it. So it was like filtered through a lot of paranoia.
Yeah.
I had the paranoid schizophrenia diagnosis too because of a psychotic break. But I was paranoid in the way, like, I would think people were watching me through my air vents in apartments mainly. That was my main fear. Everywhere I lived in an apartment, someone's watching me. I never took an air vent apart. I never peeked up in one. I would not give in. So I was never, like, I wasn't as afraid of it until I got the psychotic break did scare the ever living crap out of me. But the whole time it was happening, it went on for 4 days. And the whole time it was happening, I knew something, because if you experience that thinking distortion, where your thinking is very different, is the best way to put it.
Yeah, you can recognize it, though.
It seems like everything's normal, even though everything's not normal. It's so, like, let's say I'm having a hallucination. If in this case, for my first psychotic break, the only one that really, but I was having a hallucination. I timed it every 3 minutes. I'd have a hallucination. And it seemed normal. Like, this had never happened to me before, but I was just like timing it. Yeah, we'll see if it happens again. And okay, we'll time it again. But there was a little part of me going, wait a minute, wait, this hasn't happened to me before. But in the feeling, in the moment, it was normal, right? Yeah. In my head, it seemed like this was this thing that this is how we do this,
Hard. I've never been through it, but I can only imagine how difficult that would be.
Oh yeah.
I mean, and that's why I think a whole lot of Lisa, because she's been through it. She knows that she needs to take her medicine. She knows where she needs to be, and she's been through it and can still sit here and tell you about it.
Yeah, I was just really glad that it clarified that somehow the medication worked with how I'm built with the EDS, to where, because in the end it's been now the diagnosis is hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which manifests as those disorders when you're in your 20s and teens. But the bone stuff and the joint stuff doesn't usually you don't get diagnosed with it until you're in your 40s, usually, from what I've read. And it's a lot more prevalent than they think it is. So it's not that, like, say, it's very much more likely that I have HEDS, which is a shortened for that, than schizophrenia or schizoaffective disorder by statistics, because they say like 1 in 5,000 pretty much. 1 in 20,000 people are diagnosed with it. And they think 5,000 people have it. What's more likely that I would have when 1% of the population has schizophrenia? It's more likely, that this is the issue.
She knows her numbers too. She knows what she's dealing with. Yeah, I love it.
But I've been working on my health all my life, and then the physical stuff really just started, and now it's a whole new level. And it is like I never really worked on my mental stuff with the spirituality until I was in my late 30s, I would say. Then I really started integrating the way I thought about myself, the way I thought about, like, it was more in the middle of my mid 30s, maybe. But then like dealing with I want to say the spirits, I guess, in general, to generalize it, like dealing with spirits was something, I don't know about you, but when you said you always kind of like, oh yeah, the people who didn't have bodies and stuff, you could look back. But before you got to that point, did you know what did you understand it? Like, I didn't know how it happened. I don't know how it happens or how it works. So I just got some ideas, but I just could not. I could understand how maybe I could do some cards. This is my skeptic, my skeptic saying whatever, or I'm intuitive with the people because I love them and I'm curious about them. But with the mediumship, I couldn't figure that out at all. I've got ideas now, but I had no idea how that worked. Because once I had validation for it from other people, I was like, oh crap,
that ego.
Yeah, I mean, our ego, like your ego, is the only thing that'll usually get in the way of your psychic abilities, and it can show up in different ways in your ego. Yeah, when I was little, like I said, I referred to them as the people without bodies, there was a time in my childhood that I've literally had validation. My guides have told me they shut off my gifts. I had some traumatic things happen that just would not have been conducive. And then, as I said, when my grandmother, when I was probably around the age of 13, I found out that she was a medium, but she used to refer to it as talking to the angels. And so I didn't know how she did it, right? But I do know, I speculated if I could do it. And I was 19 with my family. And my grandmother had passed away the year before. And there was like, I don't know, maybe 10 or 12 of us in the family that went on vacation. And my aunt convinces me to try it. And we all sat in this, and like now in retrospect, I'm like, okay, well, we sat in a dark room.
Seance.
You don't need a dark room, but okay. Like we sat in a dark room, and I just kind of like closed my eyes and started to describe what I would see, right? Or what I would hear. That was it. And so lo and behold, like I said, my grandmother was a medium. I had never done a session with her. Okay. So I start to describe some of these like characters I'm seeing, and lo and behold, they're actually the same descriptions of spirit guides that my grandmother had given some of my cousins.
Oh.
There were two individuals that showed up that, as I described and started to explain things, were one was a friend and one was an ex of my aunt's. Wow. Right. And so like these things, and I was floored. And I didn't really I read cards, I would do readings and stuff like that throughout my 20s, but I really still didn't do the mediumship a whole bunch. I did have a couple of guys. I remember there was two guys that I dated. One stopped talking to me because I freaked him out. He like laughed at it. And so like, it was like our second date, and he like laughed at it. And so I proceeded, I was like, well, let me see. And I go and describe like his grandfather to a T. And he was like, and so he never called me again.
He's really lost out.
He totally did. But it really wasn't until, so I got sober. I've been sober now for 3.5 years.
Congratulations.
For you.
Thank you. And when I stopped drinking, it was like a spiritual fire hose that I got hit with.
That's what I was going to ask you. I was going to ask you that same question.
It was ridiculous. I mean, don't get me wrong. My first 90 days out was horrific. Like, I was an alcoholic, no doubt, alcoholic, high functioning, took care of shit, but yes, I was suffering, from alcoholism. And I was, I'm a witch. So like, I went to AA, but like everybody's talking about like God, and it's no big deal.
You're like blessed be.
No problem. But like, it was kind of like, I remember sitting at the tables one time, and I was like, yeah, my higher powers. And somebody's like, did you just say higher powers? And I'm like, I was like all my ancestors, they're like, oh God, this girl, right? And, but at some point I decided this makes sense. Like stepping in and embracing my spirituality makes sense on this journey. Yeah. And so I did. I leaned in hard. I started doing studying and researching. And once a week I would go on Facebook and offer free readings and, all of this kind of stuff. And I was trying to find ways to strengthen my gifts. And at some point I'd asked my guy, I went into a Facebook group. This was when I was still hanging out on social media to try to practice my mediumship. And I did. And somebody gave me this feedback, and it was just harsh. And it was like gross. And all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, should I be doing this? No. And so the story goes, and I literally am sitting here looking at a reminder of this story, that I was used to walk. This was right after the pandemic set in. So every day I would go take like a, walk around my neighborhood. And I said to my guides, I said, if I'm meant to focus on my mediumship abilities, I need a sign. Show me 3 bunnies.
Oh no.
Show me 3 bunnies. And so, I do that walk that day, nothing. So the next day I walk out. Mind you, I said 3 bunnies. That's all I need. Just show me 3 bunnies. I get down my block. Here comes bunny number 1, hops across my path. And I like kind of chuckle. I'm like, okay, like across my path. And I turn the corner and I do, here comes bunny number 2. And I'm like, what? My God, you're right. And I'm like, and so I keep walking, no bunny, no bunny, no bunny. And so I'm like, I am now probably a block and a half from home again. And I'm like, guys, you can't, like, please do, like, make sure these bunnies are in like the same, like, are close together. Otherwise I'm not going to like see it. And I turn the corner, the same corner that I probably have walked past now, I don't know, 4 weeks every day. And in the front yard of this house is a 3.5 foot tall concrete bunny statue.
No.
And I was like, lo and behold, they only put it out for like 2 weeks every year. It's like the 2 weeks before Easter. Yeah. So I was like, okay, that's it. And so ever since, instead of like studying, I just jumped in. And the same way I was doing free readings, I just started asking for them, you know, folks to show up, and I started offering mediumship. And it was like mind blowing to me how they started showing up. So nowadays, I've been actively connecting to other folks' loved ones for 3.5 years, pretty much as long as I've been sober. How they show up, if you think about your psychic abilities, right? You have all your 5 senses. Actually, there's all sorts of psychic abilities, but you think about your 5, right? Your ability to see, clairvoyance, hear, clairaudience, ability to feel, clairsentience. It's clairaugusance and something else for scent and taste. So you have all of those can actually associate. Spirits on the other side love to sit in me. So I actually allow for possession so they can sit
like
in and
channel? Like you'll channel? I've never met anyone who channels.
Yeah. Not just channel. So they can channel, which meaning they will actually be able to talk through me. Yeah. But they can physically sit in and like possess. Movie? Yeah, it's there'll be times that I'm like, I am bouncing my leg. Did your loved one really love to bounce their leg?
So you just permit them if they want to show something and they have good benevolent kind of energy.
Yep. Oh yeah. I mean, I have ritual around me to protect. Like, you can't even come close to me if you're not benevolent.
Yeah. So
that's how I would do it. Yeah. I make damn sure nobody bad could come in. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That's a must. Yeah. Come in, they go out fast.
Yeah. They spirit mediumship often is the scent and the taste a lot. So you'll smell perfumes or things that are very distinctive. It's perfumes, cigarettes, grease and grass.
Yes. And gasoline and gasoline, lighter fluid and weird smells, but it's always perfume, smoke, gasoline or grass, or sometimes one time I smelled oranges. Yeah, it was very strange.
Yeah, so spirits will hit those, and then you can always see and hear them. Yeah. Right. So I've realized every psychic, their skills or their gifts are more prevalent in some areas than others. And everyone shows up different. Like when I've asked people to describe what they see or what they hear, it's different for everyone.
It's all different, yeah.
Right? So it's just recognizing how.
We need more words. That's what in the beginning of this podcast, I was on a mission to make a bunch of words, but it didn't happen. We've only made about 3 or 4. But Misty has the best one, no. When you know something, you know it. You don't know it, no. Just like, that's my favorite. That's my favorite thing. We say it all the time now.
That's the well, it's like, and that's one of the things that the no is good. That's the other psychic ability, which I say is associated. It's literally the 6th sense psychic ability, which is the claircognizance.
Yeah, that's how most of my stuff comes in. Yeah,
you just freaking know. Like
you just know. Yeah,
it's just
no. That's exactly what she's talking about. Is the claircognizance. Yeah.
Yep. That's why
I explain.
I'll see stuff sometimes, but mostly I drops in. Also, I work with guides a lot. I have 2 guides in particular I work with the most, and with clients and stuff like that, and just for me, a lot for me. They help me out a lot. But that's like, I loved my guides, but I didn't know what they were, or one of them was, until I heard the term spirit guide. And I was like, I think I was like 27 or 28 when I heard the term, read it on the internet, and I was like, oh, like it is all like, oh, it just hit when I read what it was.
How do you see things, Sunshine?
Yeah.
How do I see them? I can see them. So I can see them with my eyes closed or my eyes open. They kind of show up the way, and it's funny. I described this. Somebody was I had to tell someone one time, I was like, psychic visions are not fucking holograms.
know, right?
They're not holograms. Like, they're not. I was like, imagine, and this is the way I explain it. Can you picture a green apple in your mind? Yes, that's how they show up.
Yes.
For me.
Or like reading a book.
Yeah.
Like reading a book. Yeah.
So I can also have them show up. I open the Akashic Records for a lot of people. So I can go in and do a lot of past life stuff. And those actually play as movies.
Yeah, cool.
Those play as movies for me. So like it's very funny. You know how like you'd watch some of the movies and it'd show like the storybook and you'd zoom in and you'd watch the storybook
what happens
open.
For you?
And then it'll go further in and then you're like in the movie.
Yeah.
And that's exactly how the Akashic Record readings work. But I had a client the other day, it was really funny, and I was like, every time I open up the records, I always end up in quote unquote a library to start when I pull the book.
Yeah.
And so I told the woman, I was like, this is really funny. And she goes, what? I said, I'm like not in a library. I said, I'm actually in like, this is reminding me of a classroom, like my art history class, and there's a projector. She starts laughing and she's like, I love movies. And she goes, I was like, yeah. She goes, to the point of like, she's like, since I was a child, I used to think about how I would change and play on a projector, like how my life would. And I'm like, you're kidding me, right?
That's
I'm
awesome.
like, you're kidding me. So,
you've got a good point there, Sunshine. This whole "you're kidding me" thing, don't we all have that? Even though we've been validated again and again. Like Misty is always surprised when she gets everything right. But if she's doing a reading or something, or she just do a game or something, what's in the box?
It's like a game, yeah.
She's like, oh,
I won.
Like, maybe I feel that way a lot, but she's just like,
I still, there'll be times, because I do a lot of events and stuff, and I'll just have like 10, 15, 20 people sit down with me in a day. And so there are still times that I'll get hits and I'm just like, oh, same thing. Like,
sometimes it's just like, wow.
Like, that's amazing. Like,
right.
Who would have thought I had all of these psychic abilities?
Yeah. Did you know?
That. You did, yeah.
But I laugh because it's a couple of the other people that I like mentor and stuff. The way that I explain it, it's like, because it's not me. It's not.
I know. That's what makes me giggle. Yes.
I'm just the channel here. I'm just the like, conduit to the message. Mm-hmm. Right. So yeah, I have no clue. I'm realizing it's
that's the beauty of it. Let me ask you this, Sunshine. I've been told that there's a woman next to me all the time, and she's got her hair in a bun, and she's got an apron on, and I can't figure out who she is. I know most of my spirit guides, but I can't figure out this one. Do you see her?
I actually don't. When you started to describe a woman, the woman that popped up the moment you said woman, actually is like the absolute opposite of what you just described. She's got black hair and it's really, really wild. She still has on she has like a long kind of ratty skirt. She's got an apron on that skirt.
Apron.
Right?
Like a Jeep.
Maybe
she has her hair down because I see the blonde. Her hair up and black. I see.
No, this is like wild.
Down, and she has an apron. Is it?
It's not a full apron. It's just the apron around the skirt.
Yeah, it's like an A-line dress or something, right? Mm-hmm. I saw black and white checkered dress with an apron, but I didn't know what you see. If you see a dress, or do you see?
No, it actually there's
because I didn't see her either, but we've had several guests on the podcast say they see.
I have seen her, and
she asked me, "Do you see her?" And I was like, I don't know, but if I try to, this is what I see. And it was like the 60s hair bun, the
first image that showed up is like a very, every time like my guides are saying right now, she's a gypsy woman.
Okay, like Lisa has seen her before. You have told me about her before, Lisa.
Yeah. Your gypsy friend?
Yes. I have a gypsy,
she is wild.
Oh, that was in the hotel room, wasn't it? When we met.
I don't remember when, but I know it was you.
Yeah, I have a hard time remembering my readings.
I know you do.
Oh, yeah. People always ask, you remember when you told me this? I'm like,
I know. No, sorry. She told me about her. I remember she was describing her like a gypsy with long hair.
I think Melanie said you and I had a gypsy life together when she did our past life thing on the podcast.
Did she?
I think she did, yeah. I'm not sure.
Huh.
I have a lot of Slavic in my family. I kind of think that we kind of stick in our same families,
Yeah, our soul families.
Yeah. And so, but I have a lot of Slavic in that side, and some people we have relatives in they're ancient, not ancient, but old enough. I went to the DNA test for a couple different sites because I did the wrong one first time by accident, and my mom wanted me on the one that could show me all my relatives. So, but it said that mainly that Northern European, and then like Romania and stuff like that. It's really weird. Yeah, well, Poland was just invaded. The other half of my family is Polish. They were just invaded so much.
Same. Yeah. Exact same. Yeah, that's the moment you said woman. That's who showed up. Was this like gypsy, wild looking woman? And I don't know. I were you sipping wine?
Yes.
Yeah. She comes out when you drink.
Oh, she likes to play, huh?
Oh yeah. Yeah, not just
loud mouth, eh?
Not like she. Yes. She is that like chatter in your ear when you know that you shouldn't be saying something.
Yes.
You open in your mouth. Yeah, that is her.
She comes around a lot. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Not that I drink a lot or anything, but I'm just saying.
No, you're much more receptive to listen to her when you are drinking though. That's what she's saying.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like you're not like you have a fiery spirit, but you're much more likely to keep your tongue like tied. But if you have like a drink or two, like you have no problem sharing your unfiltered. Unfiltered.
That's what I love best.
Yes, you are right. You're right about that. Yeah. That's what makes life fun.
I love her all the time. You don't have a filter often, but you can phrase your words. Not that you know how to you'll say your mind, but you know how to phrase your words to whoever you're talking to where they don't take offense at anything.
I do try to do that.
Unless you want them to.
You say bless your heart a lot.
Everybody. Yes.
That's a Southern thing. I've never gotten into that one.
Heart,
it's supposed to mean like,
Southern thing.
I know. That's the only people I know that say that are in the South, and it's usually always with a you're an idiot, like not spoken afterwards. Bless your heart. You are such a
Yeah, but in a nice way.
It's kind of
like to make fun of that saying.
It's kind of she dropped the basket. So hot. Yeah.
We don't know what we're gonna do with this one. I don't know.
So Lisa, you identify as a psychic. Misty, it sounds like you have the abilities, but yet you don't claim.
I work as one. That's why I identify as one.
Right. I've got a lot of work to do. I mean, I do the no-nos a lot. That's how I don't see things. So normally, like, I will ask Lisa if, well, what's going on over here, because I can't visually see it, but yet I can know it. And I do that a lot. And that's
you feel it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I can tell she feels it. Like she'll move certain ways sometimes. I've noticed, I don't know if you've noticed, Misty, but like when you're doing like cards, she doesn't really read like cards as memorization. She'll just go with the intuition with most of them. And then when she sees something, like when she gets something out of the card, she goes, you notice you do that?
No, I don't notice.
Tilt your head to the side, kind of like Frank or something. You go.
You mean
Frank's her dog? It always
my dog.
My cast. Yeah, yes, three of them. They're the wiener dogs, and they like to be.
I'll share this little tip. So I always say that the claircognizance is like the hardest psychic ability to have strong when you don't have anything else. Right. Because you don't have any other way to validate. So if your no is your strongest and you feel things in your body, a tip that you can do is you can ask for validation. Like, if this is what that means, tap me on my right shoulder. Make me feel this on my right side.
Yeah. Or I could do the bunny thing.
Like the bunny thing. Yep. Yeah, that's what I was just thinking. Confirmation. That's really cool.
Yeah, well, like but that's right. If your clairsentience is strong as well, ask for it to show up physically in your body rather than the actual symbol, because your body can go with you at any time. So this can be the chills, this can be a tap, make me feel cold, make my toe numb, like whatever it is. But you can use your physical body to help register, and then your guides will touch or squeeze or whatever to validate your no.
I love that.
Oh, that's wonderful. That is like, I was going to ask you for advice for the guests. And I do want to ask, where can they find you, Sunshine? Where can people find you? Get a reading.
You can check out the website, sunshinereadings.com. That is the best way. Email me, sunshine@sunshinereadings.com. You can definitely find the business on social media. So I am on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest, but I will tell you, I don't hang out there. The energy it's like my team is like, we'll handle it. And I'm like, thank God.
Well, that's I had something I wanted to say and it just went. I am just really glad you came on the show, and I'll go follow you, and maybe I'll send you messages that you'll never read. Fan mail. I'll send you fan mail.
Hey, I love emails. I will respond to any email that comes through all day, every day. Awesome. So if you actually want to reach sunshine@sunshinereadings.com is me. I get those. They come directly to me. Sure, my assistant sees them, but that's only to remind me I have to reply.
Your assistant's good, too. Your assistant's really good. Really laid back, because I got all confused. I had a dream that you were sick and canceled, but somebody else canceled yesterday. And like an hour before the podcast yesterday, I figured it out. That it was a dream that Sunshine was sick. Sunshine's not sick. And I wrote your person, one of your people, and they were so cool. They were just like right on it.
Yeah, Box is a dear.
But listeners and watchers, I will put everything about her. You can find her where you can find her in the description of the podcast. And I'd like to thank our sponsor, Everclear. Everclear is an advice app where you can get advice from psychics and empaths so you can get the clarity you need to create the life you deserve. You deserve it.
You deserve it.
You deserve it. You deserve it. You deserve it. I'm pointing at myself. You don't deserve it.
Thank you so much.
Yes, and thank you, Misty and Sunshine. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Any last words for the listeners? It says maybe someone wants to come learn from you. What would you?
Hey, I absolutely adore mentoring and teaching people how to awaken their skills and advance them. Is like it's part of my. Like, I never would have guessed this. I was tapped. They told me this is what I'm here to do. So I don't get to choose. I just have to listen and do what they say. So, yes, if you are looking to awaken, advance, explore your own gifts, find out other tips and tools, just like I gave here to Misty, reach out to me. I would be absolutely delighted to help.
My Juju says she's perfect at it. She'd be great for anybody, especially people who are like, probably feel like very isolated and don't feel like they can express themselves. You can get in there and pull them out, can't you?
If you are familiar with human design, there is a level in my human design that basically states everyone will love me and I will make everyone feel loved.
Yeah, I do love you. You're just awesome. You just have a good and warm energy.
Yes, you do. Got a great energy.
Listeners, find her. Watchers, find her. And thank you again. And Misty, thank you. And listeners, we love you. We love you and love you.
Love you.
And look who came to say goodbye to you, listeners. Gandalf finally.
Gandalf.
Oh, she's got one.
I got 5 of them.
Oh, she got.
Oh, they're looking at each other. They're looking at each other. Oh, wow.
You see that, Batman?
Oh, Gandalf not liking him. That cat better not be in this house for real. All right, we're going to say it again. Love you, listeners and watchers. Peace out. Thank you.